February is Black History Month, and we want to celebrate the role that African Americans have played in our industry. Here to talk about Black History Month in the financial services industry are Communications Chair Chris Barnthouse and Ralph Wise of the National African American Insurance Association.
Hi, this is Chris Barnthouse, the Communications Chair for NAAIA, Indiana. I'm very pleased to be joined today by Ralph Wise, President of the National African American Insurance Association of Indiana. Welcome to NAAIA Update, Ralph.
Well, thank you for having me, Chris.
Thank you so much for joining us to help us celebrate Black History Month.
Ralph, tell me about yourself and your practice.
So I started in the industry in about 2006. I started working on the carrier side as a property adjuster, worked for a couple carriers. After that, I decided to work for as an independent agent. So I worked for him about a year and a half, and then I started my agency about 5 years ago. So my agency, we focus on property and casualty, life and health insurance for business and commercial use.
Very good. Now, you've got a family too, don't you?
I do. I have 2 boys and 2 girls, and I'm married. My wife, Kimberly, she works for here in the city as well.
Wow. So you are an extremely busy man. Now, I understand you also played some football.
Just a tad bit of football. Played for Ball State University.
Hear that, Cardinals fans? This is a Ball State. What'd you play?
I played defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle.
Absolutely.
You're one of the guys that got your uniform dirty.
Just a couple of times.
So this prepared you well for this industry because you've got to do a lot of bulldozing to get through this, don't you?
It spends a lot of time in the trenches, yes.
Now, how did you become involved with NAAIA?
Initially, one of my colleagues introduced me to NAAIA, and so we went to a local meeting and kind of just got involved from there. After I became an agent, that's when I became involved with NAAIA.
Very good. Now, how have you found your affiliation with NAAIA to go?
NAAIA's been really good. It's helped me to understand a little bit more about the industry. I didn't know too much about NAAIA when I was on the carrier side, which I thought would help me out a little bit there. Ultimately, once I got to go to a conference, got to see other people and meet other folks who kind of looked like me, who did the same things as I did, who that we probably don't always get to see locally. Gave me a better opportunity to understand what NAAIA and how it can help others in the industry as well.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about NAAIA and its mission.
So NAAIA's mission it was created in 1997 by Gerald Tillman, and he's an independent agent. So he started it and created it for people of color and others, and to kind of help network within the industry. And ever since then, we've developed 17 chapters across the country. There's also a chapter in the Caribbean, as well as that supports the Lloyd's of London market.
I also understand that part of NAAIA's mission is not just to support the agent in the field, but to break through the color barrier in insurance companies to get African Americans into those executive suites.
Absolutely. So it has really become twofold: to support the agency force as well as support the carrier representatives. So get folks in the C-suites and help those in the middle market and middle management as well.
Now, how is that working on the local level? What do you do on the local level to help achieve that?
Local level, in our chapter, we welcome anyone that's in the industry. And so what that kind of looks like is we have carrier representatives, we have folks who are underwriters, folks that are in the claims department, marketing, they could be an attorney. So anyone who is in the industry, there's a seat at the table with NAAIA for them.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. We do want to have a big tent.
Right.
Now, how could NAAIA help with that mission?
So NAAIA, I think we have pretty much the common goal. The best way I think that we could help, you guys wanted to help with advocacy and membership, and that's what we want to do too. In regards to advocacy, help folks understand how they can get resources through NAAIA, as well as help our members grow in their professional development as well as their personal development.
Now, we just attended a joint event yesterday at Day on the Hill with NAAIA and NAAIA. How do you think that went as far as working together?
I think it went really well. The thing that really drove it home for me was that you have to be in the room to be able to have a conversation, to understand what's going on, and to have an effect in your community. And so to me, I think that was a really great opportunity to do that yesterday.
Again, your organization was established primarily to support African Americans. How is an African American's experience in this industry different than, say, somebody who looks like me?
Well, I think our industry reflects society, right? And so, in our society, there hasn't always been a direct relationship in regards to folks having access to information, knowledge, education, and opportunities. And so, one of the things that I think that as an African American, that some of the hindrances have been, being able to have access to the markets, being able networking, generational knowledge as well. So, those are the kind of things that I think that really can help in the African American community.
And how do you feel that? You feel like that's progressing? You think things are getting better?
I think some things are getting better, but we can always improve, right? There are some networks that are working, but there are a lot that are not. But I think that, over time, I think things will get better.
As an African American insurance professional, what do you think your biggest challenge is?
The biggest challenge is just access to some of that knowledge and access to resources. And as an agent, access to marketing and access to markets. So being able to get those policies in place.
What do you think your greatest challenge is right now?
My greatest challenge, the greatest challenge I think I feel right now is being able to just duplicate myself, and grow the business. Growing in the way that we need to in the industry.
So what is the primary focus of your personal business?
60% of my business is commercial business.
Okay.
And, rest is going to be personal line business.
How do you find working with those businesses go?
I love working with business. As an adjuster, I work a lot with businesses, and so I feel that's a real comfort zone for me.
Coming back to working with other organizations, we had a lot of organizations at Day on the Hill yesterday. How do you think we can best work together going forward to promote everybody in the industry? I mean, we want to have a tide that floats all boats.
Right, and I don't think it's just one culture, one sect or another. I think all tides raise the boat, right? Mm-hmm. So, I think the more hands on deck, the better opportunities we all have, and at the end of the day, you want to be able to network and work with folks, from all walks of life.
Well, I think I can speak for NAAIA when we say we're going to continue to invite NAAIA to as many of our events as we can convince them to come to. And we certainly are open to invitations from your organization as well.
Absolutely. We look forward to working with NAAIA as well and, creating opportunities for one another, as well as finding how can we increase, as we have more folks who are leaving the industry, how can we bring more folks into the industry as well? So,
what do you like to tell our members, either about NAAIA or Black History Month or whatever you want to talk about?
Well, one of the things I would just like to inform everyone is that, we as NAAIA members, we welcome NAAIA in regards to working with one another. I think there's a lot of opportunity that we still have yet to uncover, and we look forward to working with everyone.
Well, thank you, Ralph. I hope this is the beginning of a great relationship.
Absolutely. Thank you.